This is DRF, Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman and Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day for Thursday, September the 23rd, race number 2 at Belmont Park. Let's kick off the 50-cent early pick 4 with a look at the field for this maiden special weight, mile and a 16th on the inner turf for 2-year-olds. Download free formulator past performances on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. Access them handicap along with us. Mike Street Vendor, the 2-1 on the morning line for Todd Pletcher. $500,000 son of Nyquist, runner-up in the career debut.
Yeah, the horse to beat in here, probably by a pretty long way, Dan. This horse actually ran pretty well first time out. I think the horse that won that race for Mike Maker could be okay. This horse felt like he kind of maybe figured things out a little too late.
Let's watch that career debut. He broke a little bit slowly. Joe Rosario was able to have him in between horses, angled him out widest into the stretch for a look, and he's grinding him down late to get second. Kiss the Sky, as you mentioned, the Maker horse came back to run second in a stake in Kentucky Downs with a 74 buyer. This horse has a solid enough pedigree. Again, lots to like, except for the price.
Yeah, he's just going to be the favorite here, but he should be. You can see him, sort of gaining ground there, passing a bunch of horses through the stretch. He just felt like a horse who wasn't quite prepared, maybe didn't really have that much speed, but he was racing on very well late. I think people are probably going to get to another horse exiting that race in a little bit, flip the script. And I think people want to go back and watch that replay again and just see where flip the script was through the stretch, because it felt like maybe he was compromised.
Shug McGahee has had some good luck with his 2-year-old first-time starters this summer at Saratoga. He's got a firster in here. Fort Washington, big turf pedigree by Warfront. Dan was Group 3 placed on the turf in France. This horse has been working out regularly since early May. Yeah,
long series of works for this horse. We'll see what that all means. I don't love that kind of stuff, but he hasn't worked this horse on turf yet. I do like that. I think Shug probably realizes this is a turf horse. This is what he's bred for. Shug's had some pretty good 2-year-old turf horses so far this year, so this horse wouldn't be that much of a surprise.
Curbstone's a little interesting. I think you could project improvement for this horse, especially with the blinkers on. He's got a nice turf pedigree as a half-brother to Proctor's Ledge, a multiple Grade 2 winner on the surface. And in his debut, he kind of was just hung outside in a race without a lot of pace. I think he gained a lot of fitness from that.
Yeah, you would hope so. We'll see if he can just take a step forward here. I thought he was interested in that first race. Then I think it should also be pointed out the horse that won that race could be really good for Pletcher. That was a very impressive debut winner, Annapolis. This horse, you're right, on the outside for a lot of the way. Felt like maybe he was going to run there for a bit, and he just came up completely empty in the stretch. So maybe he needed that race.
5 exclusive order, first-time starter by Union Rags. This horse is certainly bred to handle 2-turn racing, the Damas Stakes winner at a mile on the dirt. I just don't love the Union Rags on the turf, but I don't want to knock this horse too much. Low-profile connections indicate this horse is going to be a big price.
Yeah, going to be a big price. I'm with you. I don't love the Union Rags on turf, but on the Dam side, the Dam was more of a dirt horse. That's where all her wins were, but she was okay on the turf. She didn't win on it, but she ran her figures on the grass and actually got disqualified from a win on the grass too. So she could handle the surface. I think this trainer is very underrated, but this might not be an easy spot for this horse.
Bill Mott sends out a Godolphin homebred in the number 6 Paratus. This is a son of More Than Ready out of a half-sister to Breeders' Cup Turf winner Fantastic Light. So certainly the pedigree is there.
Yeah, big pedigree for Mott, who can win with a first-time starter. I mean, you don't expect him to necessarily have them all cranked up, but he can win with the right first-time starter. This is another horse who has not worked on turf, but is really bred for the surface.
The first half of the coupled entry is the 1 Nightly Mischief going out for Jeremiah Engelhart. This horse has raced twice, sprinting on the dirt, should have bottom, now stretches out for the first time. Dan was a multiple stakes winner on dirt. I don't mind the Golden Senses on turf. I think this horse has a sneaky chance maybe to crack the board at a price.
Yeah, I thought so too. The pedigree's not terrible, and did take a step forward in his second start. His first start wasn't much. Second time he ran a little bit better, but man, they're 2 slow races on the dirt, Dan.
Daunt ran okay in his debut for Bob Robato, Mike. 68 buyer speed figure, only beaten a couple of lengths that day. I think he can improve off that effort, and he's bred. He's by Nyquist. The Dam was Grade 3 placed on the turf, and this barn just never gets bet, even though they know what they're doing.
Yeah, agreed. And this Dam also is a sister to a multiple Grade 1 winner in Marketing Mix. She was a really, really good turf horse. There's a lot of pedigree here. This horse ran, I'm with you, okay first time out. I think that was Travers Day, Dan. And that horse that won it sort of wired the field on a slow pace. Everybody was closing at the end, including this horse who was making up ground on his wrong lead. He looked like he needed that race. I think he's going to run better in here.
Wicked Bobby is sort of the clone of the stablemate and entry mate Nightly Mischief. 2 dirt starts, now stretches out and switches from Kenny McPeak to Jeremiah Englehart. And it looks like they've been working in company.
Yeah, and they're both New York breds too. I don't know if that's a sign of confidence that they're entered here or not. We'll see. I preferred the other one if I was going to use one half of this entry, but I'll probably won't use either of them.
Flip the Script goes out for Tom Albertrani. We saw the debut. The horse ran 5th that day. Tell us your opinions of the race.
Well, it was just really hard to tell what this horse was going to do, because as they got into the stretch here, this horse was in a good trip most of the way from size. He sat right in behind the lead. But all through the stretch, you could just see Louis was trying to get him off the inside to get him out into the clear. He couldn't do it. Horses were to his outside. They kept passing him. He had to let everybody go by before he was able to get clear. And at that point, it was just way too late. It's hard to say what he was going to do, Dan, but he might have been really unlucky in that race. And he might be a fair price in here to take another shot with.
He should be a fair price, and Albertrani's horses do seem to improve with experience. This will be important start number 3, second route outing. Napa Valley, the last horse entered in the body of the race. Dirt to turf for Todd Pletcher in the second lifetime start. Didn't break well in the debut, just got a tough field. I mean, Major General came back to win the graded stake, the Iroquois at Churchill Downs on Saturday. Look at this pedigree, and I don't love the flatters on the turf, but there is turf on the bottom.
Yeah, true enough. I'm with you. I don't like this sire with turf horses, but there's a little bit of pedigree on the bottom for turf. We'll see if maybe this was the plan for Todd all along. That Major General was his entry mate that day. This horse didn't break, just sort of got a tour of the racetrack. So maybe they were giving him one before they switched to turf.
And Unbridled Bomber completes the field, entered main track only. So it's time for our top picks. You were fascinated by the trip for the 8 Flip the Script. The price should be right. And again, with the experience, I expect this horse to come out there running and find a pretty good spot, maybe just off the lead. It's hard to project the pace with so many first-time starters.
It is, but I do like the fact that he can get forward. He got forward last time. Actually, they could have put him on the lead last time, but Saez actually took a hold of him and let other horses go to sit in behind. It ultimately blew up in his face, but it wasn't his fault. Again, Dan, I just feel like maybe he ran a lot better than it looks. I'm not way against Street Vendor. He'll probably win, but I'm going to try to take a little shot here with the 8.
No, he's the interesting price. I think Daunt the 7, also who you have in your picks, should go off a decent price, off a solid enough debut. Street Vendor did enough for me. The price isn't right, but he's the one to beat for Pletcher. 2781 for me, 8273 for Mike. We kick off the 50-cent pick 4 at Belmont on Thursday with the second race. Good luck.